This is an industry that's in a relatively difficult period of time. We're seeing a European market that's lost roughly 3 million cars between 2007 and 2012. Most of the mass marketers in Europe are currently losing money. And that's a situation obviously cannot go on forever. So that's the bad news. And I think that I'm not going to shed any more light on this. It's no use speaking about particular participants as being more exposed than others. I think that none of us are in currently great shape. And so I think we need to recognize the economic conditions that we live in, and I think we need to manage our businesses accordingly. We were very, very encouraged by the fact that the Commission has finally issued this industrial policy document, and it's identified a couple of the key items which are also the sort of the subject matter of this conference and the encounter with youth as being the way forward. I spent some time with a bunch of young people downstairs, and I'm getting to the point in my life, to be perfectly honest, where you keep on going back and questioning some axioms about what you've always believed in and whether you believe that Europe as an institution would ever survive. When I look at the age of my colleagues here, I become very discouraged, and then when I go down and spend time with people who are in their 20s, I realize that maybe people were smarter than I am in thinking that Europe could actually work. I think the only way to go forward in this dilemma is for Europeans as a whole to really join forces and try and move the agenda forward. So Ivan Holic, who's the Director General of ACEA, and I spent some time with commissioners this morning. We're going to go back tonight and meet some more. But I think we're encouraged by what we're seeing is progress towards a common agenda. This is something that needs to be reinforced as the only way to go forward. I think we need to overcome certainly the single country difficulties that some of the countries in the European Union are encountering. And I think we need to look at the future with some level of optimism. I think innovation is key to this battle. A lot of us come from organizations that are engaged in global activities, and we understand the importance of protecting the know-how and the technological edge that Europe has. But it must be a very conscious, very willful effort on behalf of Europeans to protect it and to encourage it. To that end, I think we need funding at the European Commission. I think that we're delighted that there was a chunk of change that was allocated to this initiative. It needs to be protected because the future of the industry depends on our ability to use that funding properly. And on that note, I'll give it to Harrie, and he can give you his own sob story about the truck side.
Thank you, Sergio. I would like to add to Sergio's comment by making a few remarks regarding innovation in the commercial vehicle sector. And in the commercial vehicle sector, innovation has always been driven by customer demand. Our sector is a global trendsetter when it comes to innovation. For instance, the introduction of Euro 6 has been a major achievement, with pollutant emissions slashed to near zero levels. Our sector is deeply committed to further progress. However, the reality is that demand for commercial vehicles is strongly proportional to the development in the economy, which is very fragile in Europe right now. Now, truck makers have suffered accordingly, with demand and production levels down some 30% compared to the 2007 and 2008 levels. And in the first 8 months of this year, EU demand for heavy trucks is down some 6% compared to the same period last year. The commercial vehicle sector as a whole is down 10%. And the market is likely to stay at these levels for the full year. As I said, our sector has achieved a lot in terms of innovative solutions. However, the benefits of these innovations will not be felt until these new trucks are actually put to the market and put on the road. And with people holding on to their trucks much longer than before, the average age of trucks in Europe is rising. The significant proportion of older, more polluting trucks on the road is obviously having a negative impact on the environment. And in Italy, for example, 55% of the trucks on the road right now are Euro 0, Euro 1 or Euro 2 trucks. In France, this is 45%, and in countries like Germany and the UK, it's still approximately 20%. And if we look at the pre-Euro 3 fleet, it produces approximately 50% of all the emissions of particulate matter in Europe. So Europe must make the most of the solutions brought to the market by the industry right now by encouraging fleet renewal. And this would not only quickly but also greatly improve air quality but also stimulate the economy. The innovations are there is a huge potential, and it's now time to make a real difference. Thank you for your attention.